For all the latest updates, subscribe to News9.
The COVID-19 pandemic has certainly wreaked havoc in different parts of the world. Most countries have faced severe crises due to the deadly pandemic. The World Health Organization has acknowledged evidence emerging of the airborne spread of the deadly disease. A group of scientists urged the global body to update its guidance on how the respiratory disease spreads from person to person. Various health experts and scientists have warned of a second wave in most parts of the world. Now South Africa has warned of a COVID-19 storm as the deadly outbreak has accelerated across the continent of Africa. South Africa's health ministry has warned of a storm arriving and pleaded with the country's 58 million inhabitants to change their behaviour to slow down the spread of COVID-19. A doctor said South Africa was still following an optimistic curve with the peak of the outbreak likely to be lower than predicted. However, health experts have warned that within weeks there could be shortage of beds to treat COVID-19 patients, particularly in the country's most populous regions. It's no longer a matter of announcing numbers of confirmed cases. We are now at a point where it's our fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, close friend and comrade that are infected. John Kengasong, head of the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, said new cases were up 24% in Africa in the past week. He said that the pandemic is gaining full momentum in most parts of Africa. South Africa was widely praised for its early response to the pandemic, which included a strict lockdown and a major program of community screening to find outbreaks of the virus. There are fears that a lack of testing and reluctance among some states to share information has hidden the true spread of the virus in the African continent. In Nigeria, authorities fearing the economic toll of the pandemic have in recent weeks relaxed restrictions imposed to prevent the spread of the virus. In Kenya, cases are surging with more than 8,000 reported infections and 164 deaths. Officials said earlier this week that the school year was considered lost because of the pandemic and primary and secondary students would return only in January 2021. International flights to Kenya will resume next month, although most countries in Africa are keeping air traffic bans in place. In South Africa, government analysts have estimated potential job losses from the pandemic could reach 1.8 million. Central bankers are anticipating an economic contraction of almost a third in the 3 months since the lockdown was imposed in late March. South Africa currently has nearly 240,000 COVID-19 cases and over 3,000 people have succumbed to the deadly disease. As of July 9th, the African continent has recorded over 5 lakh COVID-19 cases and over 11,000 people have succumbed to the virus. Nations like Egypt, Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana and Algeria accounted for 71% of COVID-19 infections. People in the African continent are hoping that things improve in the months to come.